Thank you for joining us today. My name is Marv Calvin, Mayor for the City of Willmar, Minnesota. Today is April 29th, and I would like to give an update on our community in regards to COVID-19. As you noticed, I had my mask on when we started recording today, and I want to thank each and every one of you who are wearing their masks out in public. Anytime that you are having interaction with another individual who does not live within your home, I would recommend that you wear a mask. This includes if you're going shopping, going on a walk, or any other interactions that you may have with the public. Again, using a hand-sewn mask, such as I have, or a bandana, or any other thing that you would make from home using a YouTube video, that is something you should be wearing. This is not to protect you from someone else, but for you to protect yourself from giving a potential virus to another individual. The N95 masks or the medical grade masks should be reserved for medical professionals and those working in congregate care settings or nursing homes, or those as determined by emergency management and public health. I want to remind you that as the weather is getting nicer and people are wanting to get out and about, that our parks remain open. Our playgrounds at this time are still closed, but the parks are open if you would like to go for a walk, if you'd like to hike. As parents, I would encourage you to put together a scavenger hunt, such as find a particular leaf or find a piece of garbage that someone has left, pick that up and take it home with you. Or anything else that you could go ahead and plant some things so that your family can have a fun event doing a scavenger hunt. Again, we are working on getting our playgrounds opened, and we hope to open those up as quickly and as safely as we can. Once our playgrounds are open, I would just remind you that it is your responsibility as a parent or a user of our parks to not go to our parks if you're not feeling well. If you've had a newly developed sore throat or cough, or if you have a fever, you should prevent yourselves and your families from using our playgrounds or those types of areas. I would like to thank our staff who are now working. All of our staff are working now. We've installed the nets at the pickleball courts and also the tennis courts. And so a big shout out to Public Works for the work that they've done in making that happen. Our disc golf out at Robbins Island has remained open and was never closed. So if you enjoy disc golf, get out and enjoy that. If you've never tried disc golf, go to the Facebook page for Willmar Disc Golf and just put a request on there and ask them to get you a disc. And they would be more than happy to share a disc with you so that you can enjoy that sport. It's a good opportunity to get out and try a new exercise and a new sport. Our staff continues working from home, our administrative staff, and they will continue to do that as long as the city administrator determines that that is the best course of action. I am pleased to report that I have had no complaints on people being able to access our staff during this time. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Quick Trip for the third store that they're building in downtown Willmar. I drove by there this morning. It looks wonderful. That project is coming along great. And also to our inspection staff as they continue to work to make sure that our economy continues to work well. A couple things that have happened within our community recently, starting last week, was the suspension of services at Jennie-O Turkey Store. Jennie-O Turkey Store is under a lot of federal regulations and guidelines as to how they operate and how they work, and they work in a safe and a clean environment. They have taken this opportunity during the closure of their plants to increase the cleaning to the touch points in the areas in the turkey processing plants that they have here in Willmar, both on Willmar Avenue and on Benson Avenue. I want to give a shout out to those employees who have continued to work in the shipping and receiving departments as product still needs to get out because we serve a large portion of the world through Wilmer, Minnesota, with the protein that is produced through Jennie-O Turkey Store. I would also like to add my condolences on the death that we've had within our community from Bethesda. And the Bethesda staff work diligently day in and day out, caring for those who are within their facility. I would also like to extend this appreciation to all people working in assisted living facilities, congregate care facilities, and nursing homes, because you have now become the only family that these residents and patients have. And you are to be commended for the work you do. The work that you selfishly give of yourself to come and be the person that they can cry on the shoulder, that they can share their concerns with, and particularly at these times when family members are unable to visit. And so thank you very much for the work that you do. Our people working in our retail sector and our essential employees, I would also like to extend my appreciation to you for keeping our community safe and moving things forward. You know, it's the spring of the year, and the spring of the year is when we see new buds coming on the flowers and the trees, the grass is turning green, and it's a new beginning. What we have observed here in Wilmer in the last week is nothing that was not expected. But what we did is we flattened the curve to allow our hospital to prepare for the surge that is inevitably coming. None of us want to stay at home, but I encourage you to stay at home as much as you can. On May 4th, the governor has stated that he will be lifting his stay-at-home order, and we'll have to watch the local news to see if that happens. But I encourage you to stay home, change your practices as best you can, and I know our healthcare professionals are ready and willing to serve. So go out, have fun, keep your social distancing. If you're sick, stay home. If you touch something, wash your hands. Hand washing is the best thing you can do to prevent this spread. Stay home, stay safe, save lives. Thank you very much. Councilmember Alvarado has some comments that he'd like to add as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today I want to touch on 4 topics. The first being Victory Gardens. The second will be It Takes a Village, Wilmer, self-protection, and the food shelves that we have here in the community. I would encourage you to plant a garden. Have something to look forward to that you can do with your family. If you live alone, have a small garden in a 5-gallon pail, some tomatoes or whatever you wish to have. But give that a try so that you can have fresh produce in the days ahead. Plant flowers. I don't know if there's anything that gives a person more energy than seeing the bright colors of summer flowers. So plant some flowers and have a victory garden for yourselves. It's a generational thing. My grandparents did it, your grandparents did it, your great-grandparents did it, and this is just a way to help yourselves in the days ahead. If you've had gardens before and you haven't canned, try canning or freezing your produce. And then if you have extra, share. Wilmer has community plots available, and I would encourage you to contact the city and ask where those plots are, so that if you want to have a little larger plot than your property allows, there is opportunity there. So call our city offices. It takes a village. What I mean by that is if you are finding something that your family is enjoying online, something from NASA, something from one of the museums around the country and the virtual tours, put that on It Takes a Village Wilmer. And I would ask somebody who's a little more tech savvy than myself to group all those together so that it becomes a resource for families to go out and say, hey, let's go check this out. I seen it on It Takes a Village Wilmer, and it might be kind of fun to do. Piggybacking on what the mayor said, self-protection. we all have to look out for ourselves. If you see somebody wearing a mask, they're doing that for you. They're trying to protect you in the event that they may or may not have the virus, but there's some people that are asymptomatic. They don't have the virus, but they may be carrying it. So they're doing that as an act of kindness for you. So you have to be self-protecting. You have to protect yourself. If something isn't, if you want to bring your own wipes to work or wipe down the company car or whatever, do that. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to be proactive for your own health. So don't wait for somebody else to do something if you feel that it has to be done. If, like I said, if something has to be wiped down, wipe it down. Like the mayor said, if you touch something, wash your hands. So be proactive in taking care of yourself. Food shelves. We're seeing some plant shutdowns in the area. Things are being paused. Wilmer does have food shelves available for you to use, their second harvest. And I would encourage you to call them, and I'll provide the phone number, and I'll say it twice, so that you can call them up and say, hey, what are your hours, and can you help me? And that's what they're there for. Second harvest is 1-800-365-0270. Again, 1-800-365-0270, second harvest. And then there's the NAPS distribution and food shelf here in Wilmer on Pacific Avenue, 624 Pacific Avenue Southwest. And their phone number is local 235-2641. 235-2641. Call them first to make sure to find out what their hours of availability are, so they can be there when you're there. And I want to just echo what we've heard in the community from the mayor, from our professionals. Thank you to the mask makers. Thank you to the care providers. Thank you to the bus drivers that are distributing food to the little kids in our community. There's so many people to thank. And if you see somebody that has been on the front lines, thank them personally. That means the world to them. I'd like to tell you, Wilmer's in business. We're available. You have 8 counselors and a mayor that care a great deal about your community. If you have an issue or a concern, we are available. Please give us a call. Let's stay Wilmer strong. Keep the faith, and we will come out of this. Thank you.